everybody's ego talks to them all the time on the inside. It's called the default mode network. So if we're sitting on the bus or subway or in the doctor's office, it's all the thoughts that start rising up in us. We start listening to this inner voice. It's like almost like an inner recording. And it will just go all over the place. We might remember something that 5 years ago that embarrassed us. We might replay that in our mind. We might remember people we've got grudges against. Our mind goes all over the place. And we're listening to this all the time, except when we're really busy. You know, if we're really focused on a task, it will go away. But otherwise, when we slow down at all, we'll start hearing this material. Now, many of us think it's us. We identify with this voice. Yep, that's me. I did this 10 years ago. I've been embarrassed about myself ever since. All these stories. The thing is, it's hard on our health. You know, just listening to this inner voice can actually activate our stresses. Our body starts responding to the content. You know, we might remember having a fight with our best friend and our body starts to get tense, and we might start, you know, getting stress responses like cortisol going up in our bodies, inflammation rising as a result of what we're listening to and buying into. So, you know, the scientists can even see when they look at the brain, the parts of the brain that light up when somebody is in their default mode network. Somebody who meditates a lot, different parts of their brain are lit up. And this is what I want to talk about. It isn't just meditation. It's prayer, chanting, you know, saying your mantra. What those habits do is actually over time, they reduce the default mode network. They reduce the strength of it. Yeah, it's why with enlightened people, their heads become very silent a lot of the time. And if there are any thoughts flowing through, the enlightened person is totally non-attached to them. They're not reacting physically at all to them. And this is really good for health because it means that we're not going into fight or flight or getting inflamed and you know, with the content. So any of us can do this. We can all train ourselves, you know, to have a 20-minute meditation practice in the morning, another one at night, even 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night will help reduce the power of this droning voice, our default mode network, which just drones on and on about our lives. And, you know, over time, what that does, it actually hurts, it actually changes our brain structure if we spend decades and decades and decades listening to this material. Yeah, it actually injures one of the ways that the brain forms memories. So, you know, there it is. It's like this default mode network will stop us if we listen to it for decades to form new memories, new patterns, you know, to form new patterns. When we're younger, it's easier to change. You know, it's like the ruts are not as deep. So, you know, start meditating, you know, chanting. And, you know, you probably have a a better old age, one that's not bitter. Because this default network, if we listen to it endlessly, we'll just turn into small-minded, bitter old people. So pray, meditate every day. It will help reduce stress in your body. We know all this. Reduces stress and inflammation. And it taps you to meaning and makes you, you know what else it does? It sends your blood more to your extremities because you're relaxed. And it reduces the kind of feeling of the wall between you and the rest of the world. It reduces, defensiveness. Prayer and meditation, chanting, they all help us feel part of all that is. Yeah, less threatened. Okay, so, understanding all this, maybe it will be easier to set up a practice and to do it. Yeah, okay, bless your hearts.